Welcome back to the show, guys. Today's episode is going to be a good one. So I hope you're ready for this one because we are sitting down with Craig Sewing. Craig is the CEO and founder of American Dream Media and is probably one of the most recognized personalities and thought leaders in the modern media space. Craig has built a national TV platform that blends real estate, people, culture, and lifestyle, unlike any other show that's out there. The show has been recognized for many Emmy nominations and has won a few tellies along the way. But what this show has done is empowering so many professionals within the real estate and mortgage space to develop and magnify personal brands around the cities and the communities that they're a part of. I'm really lucky to be part of this group and I've enjoyed every bit of being around it, but also being mentored by Craig. But beyond all the success and scale, Craig is an entrepreneur and a builder at heart. He's a family man. He's someone that actually embraces failure, and he knows that it's part of the entrepreneur's journey. So if you're someone that struggles with imposter syndrome, or you have a difficult time sometimes comparing yourself to other people and wondering, why is it that they make it look so easy? Then today's episode is exactly for you. I'm proud to call him not only a business mentor, but actually a good friend because I respect and admire what this man does for his family, for all the people that work around him, and what he puts out into the world. I really enjoyed this conversation. I know you guys will too. So let's get into the show.
I could have gone down a really bad path, and I tripped and stumbled into the mortgage industry. I didn't have a choice. I was really in trouble. Drinking, driving, DUI, kicked out of college. You got to take action. And I think taking action is the key ingredient.
Yeah.
And sometimes getting your ass kicked is the way to be forced to take action.
In the day and age where we live with social media, which is constantly putting up a mirror and showing you what you aren't.
Yeah.
You're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you're not good looking enough, you're not rich enough, you're not free enough, you're not posting enough content, you don't have enough time. So you're constantly being shown where you're falling short or what you aren't. And
in most cases, it's fake.
It's all fake.
Look, and I don't want to oversimplify it. I have dark days all the time. So it's not like when I encounter some of the challenges, whatever they might be, I'm like, oh, well, it's going to be great. It's not like that either.
Craig, thanks, brother, for letting me come into this beautiful studio and getting to spend time with you.
It's good to have you.
It's been a long time coming because for a lot of us that look up to you as an entrepreneur, we see this finished product. We see this beautiful studio. We see beautiful San Diego. We see a man who takes care of himself, but that's not the origin story. And I want to talk about where things started for you as an entrepreneur because I don't think that's a side that maybe all of us, a lot of people don't get to know about you.
Mowing lawns and shoveling snow to buy baseball cards. So I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and genuinely, growing up, it was like in the summers, I would mow lawns, and then in the cold winters when it'd snow, I'd shovel snow. And who knows? I don't know if being an entrepreneur is something you're born with, or it's in your DNA, but I kind of always enjoyed the hustle. Back then it was baseball cards, but if you fast forward all the way to college, I'm a college dropout. And that's a nice way of saying they didn't want me back. And in that time where I had to kind of figure out life, I was at a real crossroads. And I could have gone down a really bad path. And I tripped and stumbled into the mortgage industry, which is, I know, a big part of your story. And with that is a very entrepreneurial industry, And I think a lot of the things that kind of got me in trouble, that energy, that young, dumb energy, I just, by God's grace, applied that to an industry I knew nothing about. I didn't know what a mortgage was. I was 21 years old. It's such a funny industry. I don't think it's as easy to get into now as it was back then. It's certainly not as easy to be successful at it. But for me, it really gave me a path to apply that energy to something productive. And I did pretty well with it. And just things snowballed. You're sitting in a studio that really is, not owned by a network. We built the ideas on a napkin. There's some success stories, but there's a lot more failures. And so, the studio produces high quality content, but behind it all, it's an entrepreneurial journey with tons of failures and everything else.
Was there a moment as things were ramping that, you talked about that crossroads, about the road you could have gone down, and I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So many friends at that time, around the time that I pivoted by accident to end up in mortgage, went the other way, didn't end up well for them. But was there a moment during that journey where you had to really bet on yourself, where things were kind of dark, or even on this pathway, you weren't sure where it was going to go, but that you can look back on and say, that was the right move, that was the right bet?
The whole thing. And that's not just for me, that's for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody every day is betting on themselves.
Yeah.
I think for me, I didn't have a choice. Like I was really in trouble, like drinking, driving, DUI, kicked out of college, and just young and dumb. 19 years old, 20 years old, got a DUI, and it's really kind of an interesting story because I had landed an internship with MTV in New York City, and so I'm Missouri boy. Parents live in the house I was raised in. Even to this date, I'm a Midwest guy. But I applied for this random internship in New York City, and I landed it. And between the time of getting to go do that in the summer of 2001, right before 9/11, I lived in New York weeks before 9/11, right down the street. I got in trouble. And the school where I went, the University of Missouri, was not going to let me do that internship. And I was heartbroken, because I was like, I got to go to New York City, experience the city, much less working for MTV. This is back when MTV was actually really cool and played music. That was heartbreaking. And I remember sitting in this room, man, and just, how when we were 19, 20, just dumb. And I remember sitting in this room with all these leaders of the school. I don't know what their exact titles were, but they had probably 10 people in there, and I sat in this room without any legal representation, and there's just me, this kid, sitting there, and then basically telling me, we just started a new policy, and anyone who gets a DUI on campus is suspended from school. It's a new thing. And I was the first kid they did it to.
They made an example out of you.
And I was the last kid they did it to, because the parents of all the other students, when these things started to happen, got so outraged, like, why does a school have a right to remove you from school for something that has nothing to do with school? And I don't know, it's not my job to litigate what's right or wrong, but that's what happened to me. And so I learned that, and I wasn't going to be able to take on this internship that I was so looking forward to, that was going to be so good for me to just grow into an adult. Mm-hmm. And I was able to talk my way into it. And so what they agreed to is, we're going to let you do the internship, and then when you come back, you're going to be suspended for a semester. It was my senior year. So I went, I did this thing in New York City. It was amazing experience living in New York City. That in itself has a lot of great stories I could share.
I'm sure.
But I came back from working with MTV, and I got my first taste of real life. Not college, dumb, drinking, stuff, but career, getting up, going to work, riding the subway, having a boss, and just doing something really outside of my comfort zone. And man, I fell in love with it. I fell in love with work and career and hustle. And when I came back, here I am suspended at a school where all my friends are still going to school, partying and all that. And I opened up the Yellow Pages, and there was a job for a telemarketer at a mortgage company. Back when there was telemarketers. I went in, I walked in. I'm like, what is mortgage? Didn't know. Like, hey, how would you like to make calls for one of our loan officers and be an assistant loan officer? What's a loan officer? Started making calls. That loan officer got let go. I became a loan officer. And you want to talk about a kid who's a former athlete, loved to compete, loved sports, just got lost in college, dumb, to be able to come out and have an opportunity wait a second, I'm helping people finance and refinance homes, and I get paid to do this, and I can make this kind of money. Dude, I had 4 roommates. We each paid $200 a month rent. And they're partying through wee hours of night, and I'm get up, throwing on a shirt and tie every day, going to work while they're partying upstairs, paying $200 a month rent with a beat up truck, and started just doing really well. And I just never looked back, man. I fell in love with the hustle.
Yeah.
And the spirit of that industry, which I still love today. I love the mortgage industry. It is such a unique industry of entrepreneurs, coachable professionals, organized. You got to know how to obtain clients, run a pipeline, understand the market, interest rates, guidelines. It is such a complex industry. But man, I fell in love with it. But it all, I think the cool thing here, or at least the origin of the story, is a brutal, utter failure. And so think about that. If that was my taste of a little bit of success at 20-something years old, and I got to learn from a massive failure, well, what do you think that did for me from 21 to now 45 years old?
Sure.
Every time I encounter a failure, am I dying? Am I getting kicked out of school? Am I dead broke? And there are all these things that were real then. If you can overcome that, all of a sudden the fear of failure starts to become this you replace that fear with faith. And it's okay, when things are going well, we love that. But when things are challenging, it's what am I learning? When things are hard, if you can find yourself navigating your mind to okay, this sucks, but what is adversity teaching me? Because historically, every time I've encountered adversity, from being kicked out of school, the studio that we're sitting in, the only reason we're here is down the street when we were at the Union Tribune and started American Dream. They went belly up. They went bankrupt. They're like, your show's over. I'm like, but our show's great. We don't care. Well, we need a studio. I mean, all these different turning points of failure led to this forced decision to do something different and to overcome it. And then on the other side of it, growth.
Do you think a big part of that time, going back to when you said you fell in love with the business, or like when you walked into that office, I'm thinking of Leonardo DiCaprio when he walked into that like commercial strip mall place and it was called the Investor Center. You're like, you guys sell stock out of here? Like,
right, yeah.
But do you think this reigniting of your like passion or just feeling like, hey, I got a shot here, was because maybe of that whole like theory of a second chance? Like you'd had this unfortunate thing happen at school.
Yeah.
Like, actually, I have a second shot here. Like, I'm getting another crack at something. I've been feeling so down.
I think maybe in reflecting, but at the time, it was just like, oh, I have a lot of energy, and I just applied some of the energy that was getting me in trouble to things that were good for me.
Yeah.
You know, and just like anything in life, you encounter challenges and adversity. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to, fold? Are you going to cry in your own beer? Mm-hmm. Or are you going to do something about it? And I do better in adversity, I think, than I do when things are going well, because it forces you to think different. It gets you out of complacency. And again, what I think is so important about that is sometimes it's tough to change when things are going well. Sometimes you get stuck in paralysis analysis. And what do I do? But when you're forced, whether it's a recession, something that happened, COVID, you don't have the choice, right? You got to take action. And I think taking action is the key ingredient. Yeah. And sometimes getting your ass kicked is the way to be forced to take action.
Failure
and
is
it
not
kind
an
of
option,
makes
right?
you appreciate getting your ass kicked.
Sure.
And maybe that's the reason that I enjoy other painful things like cold plunging or working out or whatever. And that I think I think that the takeaway is like, man, failure is okay. Failing forward is okay.
Yeah.
And if you can replace the fear of the failure and the pain of the failure with knowing that there's a greater lesson to be learned, and you've been through that experience, then all of a sudden it's like, well, what do I have to fear?
That's refreshing to hear, because in the day and age where we live with social media, which is constantly putting up a mirror and showing you what you aren't.
Yeah.
You're not good enough. You're not tall enough. You're not good looking enough. You're not rich enough. You're not free enough. You're not posting enough content. You don't have enough time. So you're constantly being shown where you're falling short or what you aren't. And
in most cases, it's fake.
It's all fake.
Like we've used the word entrepreneur in this meeting, in this conversation. That has become a over-glorified word.
Totally.
You're an entrepreneur. Is it that great all the time? It's lonely.
No, it's very lonely.
You are going to bed at night, your head's on the pillow, you're staring at the ceiling, you're playing with your kids, you're thinking about it. It can create disconnect. It's a very cute thing on social media. Like, don't work for anybody. Working for somebody can be great if that's your personality type,
Totally.
For those who are like truly entrepreneurial, truly have it in their DNA and enjoy that hustle, man, I've done very well for myself. And I can tell you there's never been a dollar that I've earned that just checked the now I'm happy box. You know what I mean? I get more enjoyment out of making my parents proud than any dollar that I've made. And I think with social media, as you bring up, I think it's over-glorified what it means to truly be an entrepreneur. It's hard. Yeah. It's really hard. And those failures we're talking about, they're in abundance. And it's so, I don't know about you, man, but to me, it's very lonely sometimes.
It's a very lonely place.
Yeah.
80% of your day is shit. Like, it's losses. People don't see that. They see the 20%, which is what we have to focus on to keep ourselves going, because you don't want to go down those rabbit holes and you're alone in your thoughts, at night or when you're with your kids and you drift off. I get it brought up to me all the time. You're with the girls, but I can see you're not there, and then I feel terrible about it. But it's like, it's the curse of being an entrepreneur. Like,
and part of it's actual responsibility.
Yeah.
That phone in your pocket that's going off, it could be a client.
Yeah.
It could be something you need to tend to.
Yeah.
And it's tough, man.
It's tough.
It's not for the faint at heart.
No, it is absolutely not. And like I said, it's so fake and people just see all that stuff rather than celebrating failure or celebrating keeping it real or celebrating, I fuck up all the time.
Yep.
Here, people just show their wins. Very few people show their losses. And it sounds like a huge part of your entrepreneurial creed and what is making you so successful is that you lean into failure. You lean into loss because on the other side of it every time something great has happened.
Yeah.
Right?
There's a great book. the obstacle in the way is the way.
Yeah.
Look, and I don't want to oversimplify it. I have dark days all the time. So it's not like when I encounter some of the challenges, whatever they might be, I'm like, oh, well, it's going to be great. Like, it's not like that either. But there does, over time, become this understanding of this is normal, change is normal. What are you going to do about it? I think part of the creed is always be moving forward. Okay. There's a book called Life on the Wire, and it's by Todd Duncan from the mortgage industry.
Yeah.
And his first chapter is about the Melendez brothers who walked on this high wire, on the skyscrapers, Grand Canyon, and they did it without a net. And they were interviewed about, like, how do you keep your balance and not risk death? And their answer is very simple. You just keep moving forward, right? And so I think progress, moving forward are so important no matter what chapter of life you're in, no matter what challenge you're in, it's moving forward. But unfortunately, I think challenge and fear take hold to where people get paralyzed.
Yeah.
They get scared and they don't move forward and they don't know what to do. Moving forward is really one of the key ingredients to getting through it. I heard another one, not to get all caught up on metaphors and analogies.
No, I love them.
The story of the buffalo. I don't know if you've heard this one, but
No.
I love it. So, like, even if it's fabricated, it just sounds cool. A cow in a storm is a big dumb animal and just kind of sits there and gets stormed on and tries to run away from it. A buffalo and its herd runs into the storm because you get through it quicker. So it's like the story of the buffalo. It's probably some ancient Indian thing. I don't know, but it's.
Sure it is.
I love the story of the buffalo. It's like go into the storm, make progress. Life's seasonal. I think that's how it's supposed to be. I don't think God wanted it to be some linear, every day you move a little bit more forward, a little bit more up and to the right. I think that it's supposed to be up and down and have its challenges, and that's where growth really does come from.
100%. And I want to shift.
Also innovation, man. Also innovation, doing things different. Like for me on the mortgage industry, so I opened a mortgage company in 2008. We know what happened that year. Yeah. Not good timing. But it forced me to think different. We were doing all refis, which this language. Well, we need to do something different. We started a radio show. Why? It was just something unique to build relationships in our market. Ended up being a brilliant thing. So the mortgage market is crashing. Refis are going away. And here we started a radio show that helped us to turn our business in a 180 to be relationship focused, but using media as a means to meet the most influential people of San Diego. In 2013, we had a good thing going with the American Dream, but we were aligned with the Union Tribune, the newspaper here, which went bankrupt. I got the call. That was devastating. Like, hey, the studio's shutting down, the newspaper's shutting down. I'm like, well, our show's going great. Get some partners. Let's fund a studio. Here we are. So like, it doesn't just cause change, or the Buffalo story, go through it. Like, to me, it forces innovation. Like, you got to think different. But what if those challenging things don't happen? You just think the same way and you do the next thing, but it's like, when you get your ass kicked, you have to do something.
It forces your hand.
It's like fight or flight. I don't know what it is, but I think there's something about it that's really good for you. And if you embrace that and you get used to that, it makes it easier every time.
Well, not everybody's wired that way. So I think that's a testament to you. Maybe it's how you were raised. Maybe it's something, like you said, dumb luck. It just happened. God's grace, if you will, because there are people who continually fail and there's no pivot or adjustment from it. And the world just kind of pounds them into the ground.
And
it's unfortunate. Man. And it will. The world is designed to do that. Not in any malicious way. It's called life.
It's hard. Yeah.
Yeah. It's meant to be hard. And when now, in this phase that you're at in your entrepreneurial journey and you're not done failing, you're not done trying, like fast forward now, we're at a place now where you've built an incredible media company. And I mean, through the industry, that's how you and I got to meet and how we become good friends. Yep. Where is Craig losing now? Like you said, you have dark days. So we're here now. And I know about your struggles now from your youth.
Yeah.
But what are the struggles now of an entrepreneur at this stage?
So we're having this conversation in Q1, right? Q4 was dark. I am somebody who is disciplined, who does the work, who punishes myself physically, mentally to become better. I do those things, right? We know what those things are. And in Q4, man, I experienced something new. Burnout. I'm like, burnout? I'm too motivated for burnout. Oh, man, I had it bad. And I had this conversation with a friend literally last night because he's going through something. He called me up. Guys, we don't call each other very much, and we should.
Yeah.
We should.
Thank you for saying that.
And I took this call, and like usually if a friend calls me, I'm like, all right, what happened? There's something, like, why are you calling? And we're just talking. I'm like, this isn't going down a direction of something happened. Like, he is literally just calling me to vent. And he's also an entrepreneur. And we're just talking, similar conversation, challenges. He's in the thick of it. And so I know I'm taking a little rabbit trail here,
No,
but
please.
men, women, whatever, talk to people. Him calling me was a gift because I go through those things and I feel lonely and I have people that I rely on that I call and probably vent too much. So to be able to give that gift to somebody else, hey, you call me anytime. Mm-hmm. Even if my wife doesn't understand it, I can't let her know what's going on financially. It's going to stress her out. I don't want that. My employees don't understand it. Can't. So he's like, dude, I'm just alone. You call me anytime, right? So let's make sure that we all embrace that. That's the first thing anybody should do. But back to the question at hand. So me, Q4, what my friend is going through last night and what I was going through Q4 is very similar. And I said to him, I go, last quarter, I was like gaslighting myself. I was like looking at myself in the mirror, not literally, but being like, what are you doing? Like, great, you make a lot of money. Are you fulfilled? And like, I stopped looking at all the great stuff. And it's like, I was like a cat chasing a laser pointer of the negative stuff. Forgot about how great my family is, how much I love my kids, how nice my home is, how I live in a great area, all the things I have as blessings. You talked to me in Q4, none of that. I mean, I was tired of getting on airplanes, which I know you do. I was tired of the calls. I was tired of a sliver, not all, but a sliver of our client base. And man, it showed up and I didn't show up well. And man, it was a pretty dark Q4 for me for several months. And I don't think there's anything that really like fixed it other than the holiday breaks. I needed a break. I mean, dude, I just needed a break.
Well, a lot of people suffer from burnout. It's happening all the time. I feel it from time to time. And I think this is an important topic.
That was new for me.
How did you recognize? Yeah, of course, right? Being the high performer you are, you'd never hit one of these skids. I mean, you have dark moments, bad days, but you hit actual burnout. Like you named it, you diagnosed it. What was it that told you were at that stage and how it was different?
I honestly think it's as simple as I just needed a break.
Okay.
Like I think if I were a UFC fighter, I would be the guy who's getting my ass kicked and the whole crowd is like, just tap out and I won't tap. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, just tap out. Like it's over. Like fight another day. And I think I was just doubling down, tripling down. And then what I think really helped me is just the natural, organic occurrence of having a vacation. And vacation, we did a staycation. We didn't even travel. But being able to just spend time this winter, nobody's really working that's tied into what we do. So I really made an intentionality that phone, I don't need it today. I deleted social media. I stopped checking my email first thing in the morning. Didn't need to, which is like playing Russian roulette every day with your mood. Let me look at an email. Oh, that sucks. Yeah. Now I'm in a bad mood. Yeah. So all that got removed for a couple weeks. And then, like some people don't care about New Year's resolutions. I actually do. Like when I hear people say that, I'm like, I teach his own. But I was so excited to turn the page of last year, which was a great year actually, into the new year. It just felt new. It felt fresh. And then I saw this thing in social that was like the Chinese years. Mm-hmm. Last year was the year of the snake. Yeah. Shed your skin. The year of the horse is when you move forward and gallop into new ideas, innovation. I saw that, dude, and as silly as this is, and I've used so many analogies in this podcast already, that hit me so hard. And I'm like, fuck yes. Yesterday's over. It doesn't exist. Neither does tomorrow. I have this moment right now. What am I going to do? And I'm just like, I just felt fresh. Mm-hmm. I spent time with my family. Look, honestly, unplug the phone, delete social media. The things that, when I meditate, it helps me kind of really understand, like shuts off the monkey brain. Yep. And so I can be a little bit more conscious, like, why do I feel that way? And I really kind of dive deep into like, why is that? Oh, that relates to that. When you're so caught up in work, like it just all becomes one jumbled mess. Mm-hmm. So just to take a little bit of a breather and reset and come into the new year, that is all I needed. And dude, and here back to what I was saying, where I felt like I was gaslighting myself. Did anything really change?
No.
December 31st versus January.
Clock, yeah.
Nothing actually changed. Besides, I was like, Control-Alt-Delete, stop feeling like that. Let's take a little breather. And dude, it's great. Yeah. Things are great. Momentum's happening. Dry January, working out, staying healthy.
Focusing on
and
the good.
Just like, let's get on the healthy train here, mentally, physically, spiritually. And, that's my story to your question. But to anyone listening to this, it just goes to show you how simple this can actually be. Nothing actually changed. My mindset changed. Why? I took a break. Well, go figure.
Yeah.
Take a break.
You needed it.
Yeah, take a break. Unplug. And some of that break doesn't even work. Like, dude, this social media thing is really bad. You watch the news lately?
It's terrible.
I mean, I can't help it. You look at it and you're like, and it's just like, what did I miss? Well, oh, that's happening. Trump did that. Trump didn't do that. Oh, MSNBC said that. And Fox, like, it's horrible, man.
It is.
It's horrible.
It is.
And if you don't take a breather and realize how much we're being poisoned by the news, who's controlled by their dollars.
That's right.
By social media, where we're controlled by algorithms. If you don't take a moment to step away and zoom out and look at it and be like, wait a second, I'm being poisoned. He caught up in that, man. And look at the health crisis, mental health crisis, like shootings, school shootings, everybody's on drugs. Like, what changed, man? You and I grew up in the 80s.
I miss those days.
Oh, my God.
I miss those days.
I heard the greatest thing the other day. It was an interview between Steve-O from Jackass and one of the singers of a 90s grunge band. I don't remember who it was.
Okay.
And they said something, man, that hit me. They were talking, so there's some things going around social now about like the nostalgia of the 90s. There's like little memes going out about how great the 90s were, pre-internet, pre-phones, whatever. And I've seen these like clips of just all these iconic things. And they in this interview or this conversation they were having, they're like, the 90s was the last time that we were entertained. Think about that for a second. When Seinfeld was on, 7 o'clock on Thursdays, prime time. Saturday Night Live was still on, but everyone got around the TV, Saturday Night Live. The new movie came out. You went to see Jurassic Park at the movie with my mom. You went to Blockbuster on Friday. Everybody did the entertainment thing at the same time. Now, even entertainment's been completely eroded. Like, you want to watch a show, you go binge watch it. Social media 24/7. And if you think about it, man, we are so wired in many ways that are still very caveman-esque. And then you give these brains of ours all of this information, it's going to desensitize you. It's going to spin you out. And if you don't take time, back to the conversation at hand, to take a break from it on the day-to-day, maybe hour to hour. Hey, tonight, phone's off at 6 p.m. Honey, we're done. Or, hey, I need a 3-day weekend.
Prescribe it, self-prescribed.
Well, you just have to, because otherwise this world is moving so fast, you're going to get caught up in it.
Yeah.
And if you don't recognize that you're caught up, and again, this all kind of stems from you asking me about recent pain point struggles, failures. I said Q4. That's what I was going through. I was caught up in the snowball of chaos and negativity of news and social and working my ass off. And I didn't distance myself from it.
Yeah. Well, good for you. And I appreciate you sharing that, because so many of us, myself included, I think burnout is becoming a little bit more of a household expression. A lot of people are getting comfortable with saying it. I think admitting it before was like weakness. Burnout. No, I don't get burnt out. Like, work hard or whatever. And I'm all about hard work. I know you are too. You were raised with that blue collar mentality. But yeah, you have to actually like call it for what it is. Yeah. And it is a real thing. Just like mental health is a real thing. And detaching from some of these things that are not really serving us well is super important. I've grown to respect you a lot, brother, over the last, we've known each other 4 years. And I'll tell you what impressed me most.
It's longer than that.
Is it now 5? Maybe 5. But
I mean, COVID was 6 years ago now.
It's going by too quick.
Wouldn't it have been before?
No, it was right during.
Was it?
Yeah, it was in Vegas at AmpCon when Renee got everybody back together for that big event, and I heard you on stage. And I've heard a lot of things, and I always appreciate how vulnerable and real you are about everything. And we bring it forth to the title of your, the show, which is what I'm a part of, and I'm really proud to be. The American Dream, which means a lot of different things to different people. Yep. It's opportunity, it's freedom, it's a gift, an absolute gift, something that has to be cherished. I know you and I align on a lot of this stuff, and we bonded over it. But one thing that I know is really important to you is family. And you said something at the beginning, which I already knew about you, but our audience got to hear, was that you like doing things to make your parents proud. Yeah. And I remember hearing one of the very first times I met you was something about, you were just referencing something back from the Midwest and some time with your dad. And I thought, there's a real guy. Whenever I hear somebody reference family in the way you do, I know they're a real human being, which I'm drawn to. And anyone who's not, I'm trying to really be active in cutting them out of my life these days. I know family is important to you and making your parents proud. Is that something that continues to anchor you and drive a lot of things now? Like you said, you're experiencing all the success. There's money. It's come and gone. You've got great things, a beautiful wife, gorgeous kids, all of it. is, serving your parents still something that anchors you?
Yeah, I think so. My dad was salt of the earth. I mean, he's the most humble guy. He ran a cafeteria in downtown St. Louis, and the majority of his customers were African American. And I remember when I was growing up, we lived, in the suburbs, and my mom would take me into the city to go to a Cardinal game, baseball, which is like a religion where I'm from. So about once a year, my mom would take me down. It was called the Salad Bowl. That was the name of the restaurant. And they didn't even serve salad. I'll come back to that. It's kind of funny. It was a little old, tiny cafeteria in St. Louis. And it really was fascinating. Now, back then I was just a kid. I didn't know any better. But in hindsight, in reflection, it's really fascinating. So I would get there, and my dad and his brothers, they kind of ran this cafeteria, did some banquets and things like that. And he could have just sat me in his back office, say, hey, I'm going to go finish up work, eat this meal, we'll go to the game. We always went to the game late. And, I'm just wanting to go. I'm a little 10-year-old that wants to go to this game. What he would do every time is he would make me get in the line of the cafeteria and go through the line. And I would talk to the people, the cooks on the other side, and I'd be in line. And then I would have to pay Millie, who was the cash register gal. Millie worked there for 50 years. And then he would have me go sit with his customers, and he'd leave. And later in life, I would see that my dad did that every single day for lunch. He would go through his own line, and he would sit with his customers, white man with his brothers, mostly African American. And in hindsight, as I reflect on it, I was like, my dad was teaching me about relationships, and I didn't even know. He was making me go through this, having me sit down and just have conversation and break bread with people who didn't look like me. And they were so kind, and it was so awesome. I met so many great people. And I just think back to that. We've used the word entrepreneur in this conversation. He was an entrepreneur, but in a very different, old school kind of way. He's not online, digital marketing and doing all these things. Yeah. It was more like strapping on my boots. I'm driving an hour in traffic to get to the city, and these are my customers. And there was no Yelp or social media or whatever saying how great your restaurant was. What made people say what your restaurant was the actual experience and them telling their neighbor. That's what it was back then. There wasn't a negative Yelp review. It was so simple. And to me, it just feels like it was so much better.
Way better.
But when I think back to that, I'm like, man, I don't remember my dad ever telling me that's what he was doing. I don't remember him ever telling me, you talk about my family, telling me how to treat my wife and kids, or telling me not to swear. He just didn't do these things. And so I got to learn from somebody who lived by example, but not because he just taught through doing. Mm-hmm. And these are not things you notice as a kid. But when you grow up and you get your ass kicked and you go through challenges and you have your own things and you're like, what was it like for my dad? And you kind of think back to those things like, man, what a great man. They don't make them like that much anymore, And I could say the same thing about my mom. She supported him, now that's almost frowned upon, right? She supported him. He had to work 6 days a week and miss games. He didn't like having to do that, but my mom picked up where that left off and made us dinner. Yeah, it was teamwork. Yeah. And then Wednesdays we had dinner as a family. It was the one day my dad could have dinner. And so that, as you get older, means a lot to me. And I hope that I can do something like that for my family, because they're also inundated by the phones and the social media and the technology. But man, at the core of it all, if you look at my book, Sewing Together Old School Techniques with New School Technology. The old school techniques, hard work, relationships, family. The American Dream, which you reference, it's almost like these days that's a negative word for some.
I know it is, but it should never be.
It's a mindset.
Yes, it is.
If I lived in Mexico, there should be a Mexican dream. It's so crazy to me that we have somehow demonized success. And it doesn't have to be financial success. My dad didn't make a ton of money. I considered him successful. Why? Because he had a home, he had a family, we were safe. And even if we weren't, I had no idea. He protected us, he helped us, he gave us a shot. And when I think of the American Dream, and when you look at the news, you see things like, is the American Dream dead? are you dead? Like I mean, but genuinely, like the moment we stop dreaming, you might as well be.
Yes.
Like why would it ever be a time when it doesn't make sense to dream? Dreaming is the one thing we always have. And yes, we do live in America, so to call it the American dream. Look, I don't care what people's view is on immigration. I do care, but there's differing opinions.
Yes.
But let's all at least agree on one fact. Millions of people want into this country, not out of it. Unpack that one.
Unless excluding those few celebrities that want out, but that's okay.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Well, hey, they're free to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they have that freedom.
They do.
They don't have to be here. You have a military that will voluntarily die for you. There's welfare, health care, retirement money, veteran money for people that need it. You look around the world, most don't have access to the financial opportunity that we do.
That's right.
So yeah, we might be a little bit divided in the news. We might be a little bit divided politically. I think that is tremendously exaggerated by social media. But the moment we stop dreaming or thinking that there's something to pursue, progress to be made, dreams to chase, like, yeah, you might as, then the American dream is dead. But it's not a circumstance, it's a mindset. And so I think that no matter what political side you're on, what you get out of the news, we should all believe that there is a greater good for all of us individually and collectively as a country. And to me, the American dream, at least our show, is meant to embody that. But regardless of our show, like we live in the greatest country. We should do a better job celebrating that. It's because of the freedom.
True to that, man. Amen to that. Kind of pivoting from the American dream as we wrap this here, the LFG Energy Podcast and the theme of this podcast and this show, which everyone knows what it stands for. There's a lot of crossover or synergy with the American dream and some of the themes we've talked about.
Yeah.
Family, faith, and whatever that faith may be, whatever guides you, whatever anchors you, whatever brings you together with other people. The opportunity to go out and do whatever the fuck you want, so long as you obey the law and you work within the constructs of what's around you in pursuit of that, you can do it here. You find me another country that says you can do it the same way and I'll move.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to because you're not.
We're one of one.
No, that's exactly right. There's one of one, 100%. LFG Energy, I ask this of every guest as we wrap the show. It means a different thing to everybody. What does it mean to you? What does LFG Energy mean to Craig Sowing?
Let's fucking go. But the energy of it, I mean, if you kind of wrap this entire conversation around that, right? Life is going to present you different circumstances. Some of the things you can't control, right? Like a recession, COVID, somebody getting sick. But let's fucking go. That is a universal mindset truth in any moment, anywhere, right? And if we're going to relate it to the American dream, you have a country that you have a freedom to do that. Where do you want to go? If you're getting your ass kicked like we spent the first half of this talking about, let's fucking go. What are you going to do? If you're not getting your ass kicked and things are going well for you, whatever, let's double down. But let's go.
That's it.
Yeah. Why are you complaining? Let's go. Or let's fucking go. Right? It's just, dude, it's it coincidentally and very similarly, I mean, you made the point. It does kind of relate to the American dream, right? It is a mindset.
Yes.
And if you have the right mindset, which in itself takes work, doing work to get yourself mentally healthy, to do the things. I mean, the working out, the meditation, the faith, I think is important, the family, even all the other little things like the journaling, all this stuff to me in an environment like we live right now, where there's so much information and it's so much of it is negative and desensitizing. Doing those things, I think, is critically important to your own mental health. But if you get your mind right and you get your body right, let's fucking go.
I love
Then it doesn't matter if it's adversity or opportunity.
I love it.
Let's go.
Amazing. Craig, this conversation was a gift. Our friendship is something I really value, man, genuinely, and admire you and respect you on so many levels. Appreciate all these sound bites that I know, not only if you're an entrepreneur, but someone who's maybe aspiring to become one, or whatever field or area you're in, there's something you'll take from this show today that Craig has experienced or Craig has been able to tell you there's another way out, there is a way, it's moving forward, it's let's fucking go, it's the American dream, it's all of it. So I appreciate the time today, brother. It means a lot.
Thanks, man. Awesome. Appreciate it.
Perfect. Amazing, dude.
Awesome,
that was
dude.
fucking awesome.
Amazing, yeah.
Dude,
Cool.
I could rap with you all day. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that conversation with Craig Sowing today. Please give it a re-listen because there's a lot of great sound bites in there for the entrepreneur's journey and struggle. And if you enjoyed this episode, guys, or got something out of it, please take a screenshot of it, post it to social media, and tag me in it because it helps me learn more from you guys in the way of feedback as to what types of guests and episodes I should be bringing to you. And if you know of someone that could benefit from listening to this, please share the episode with them. Thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you on next week's show.